Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday evening to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there and having a great ending to your day and a great week out there so far. Appreciate you folks joining me tonight as we discuss some weather. We'll talk about right in the beginning of the video kind of what's happening right now and what potentially could happen over the next several hours in North Texas. And then the main portion of this video will be discussing what happens potentially for tomorrow in Texas again, and also in Florida again. It seems like Texas and Florida have been the two main topics state-wise for the weather so far over the last 2 to 4 days. So they will be the big topic in this video once again, but we'll also discuss obviously the threat levels for tomorrow, but we'll also discuss for this weekend where we're going to get an active stretch of weather. Basically Friday to Sunday. Some areas might get a little bit of a break for Saturday for anybody trying to look to get anything done this weekend in the eastern U.S. But I can tell you we could potentially have a big-time coastal low sometime this weekend, which means not snow. It's too late in the year for that, late in the season, but just a big-time rainmaker. Some areas really need rain, so we'll talk about that. And we'll get a little bit more detailed on that when we can get past all these severe weather events. But we'll discuss a few things in this video. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below so I can pray over it and so others can do so too. So let's get rolling. Storm Prediction Center. As of right now, this is between now and basically tomorrow morning. You still have the slight risk up. No upgrade to an enhanced risk or anything like that. Amarillo all the way down to Houston, Texas pretty much. And I would say this threat down here is probably more so for this evening. The tornado threat is still there, and this will really happen over the next several hours until later this evening into the overnight hours. There's a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles at any given point. I'm expecting one or two lone supercells. They could be very photogenic for any kind of storm chaser out here or anybody, just a photographer, whatever you may be. Out here trying to look for a storm, which there's a lot of people who do this full time and are doing that right now in Texas, waiting for these storms to fire up. You could potentially get one or two lone supercells that could really be powerful storms, could produce large hail and a brief tornado. And you got the wind threat, which is not that high with this setup, and this is mainly because you do not have a lot of high-end wind profiles aloft, and not a lot of spin or speed to the atmosphere aloft with the winds. So you don't have much of a risk of damaging winds with these storms tonight. Hail threat with any dominant supercell that does get going. And there's a chance in this yellow area you might not get any storm activity, not even a drop of rain. But any kind of storm that can get going, you could get very large hail with it. So there's a 15% risk of hail, 1 inch diameter or larger, and then a hatch risk in the black outlined area of hail pushing 2 inch diameter or larger. And this could happen today. Not today, but tonight into overnight tonight. So let's go on and talk about the latest HRRR model run for this. There's not a whole lot going on right now. You got severe thunderstorm watches up for the panhandle of Texas. You got some storms beginning to fire, but I would say sometime between 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time, which is, here in the next hour or two, expect one or two cells to really fire up right here in Texas. And one town that a lot of people have been talking about is Abilene. A lot of people know the city Abilene if you live in the south central U.S., and that could be an area to watch. Or just north of the town of Abilene, you guys could certainly see one or two lone supercells that fire up right here. And these can potentially be powerful. They really could. Large hail, an isolated tornado threat. We'll go to the next hour. This is around 9 p.m. according to the HRRR model. If these storms do get going, they could be just a lone supercell. So they'll have their environment to take advantage of. They could be very slow moving, just crawling out here. I'm telling you, if you're a photographer, storm chaser, this is your dream kind of storm out here because you can get some awesome lightning shots. They're not that dangerous because they're moving so slow. Obviously, whoever they're hitting, it's relentless right on top of them. But you can kind of get around them really good. You can gauge them very well. But, of course, not everybody's a storm chaser or photographer, right? But just watch out. If you're in these communities out here, some smaller towns like Anson, Stamford, Albany, Texas, a lot of small communities. just watch out for these storms. Even watch this one just north of the Red River into Oklahoma. You got to watch. This could produce some big-time hail. There's a little bit more cold air aloft with this, so you could certainly see some hail with these storms. And then, this storm just crawls. You're at 10 p.m. at this point. 11 p.m., it could finally weaken, some scattered showers and storms. The low-level jet begins to ramp up in this region, so you got to watch out for these storms right up here around midnight, way up here in North Texas. I'm talking about kind of the region near Vernon. What is that? Quanah, Childress, Paducah. You guys watch out for these storms. This will be overnight tonight, so this will be, if you're waiting for them, you're going to be waiting pretty late. These storms could pack a punch, kind of ride the Red River all the way through the morning hours tonight, to the wee hours of the morning, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. They literally just ride the Red River. It's pretty wild, and this could bring some heavy rain, and we get all the way into Oklahoma. We get all the way into 5, 6 a.m., and you just got a train of storms moving from Amarillo all the way, hitting any kind of towns or communities that are really close to the Red River. It's just straddling this area right into here. And then, we're waking up to some showers and storms tomorrow around 7, 8, 9 a.m. Could be a very active area of weather right into here. Altus, Frederick, watch out Lawton, Wichita Falls, Texas. You guys could definitely wake up to some active weather. And then it gets into tomorrow, which we'll discuss now. So please just be careful in this area. It could be some powerful storms tonight, just not very widespread the further south you get in Texas. Tomorrow, an enhanced risk for severe storms. It's a level 3 out of 5, so we're starting to get into that danger zone. This does include Dallas. It includes Waco. It includes Weatherford. It includes Fort Worth, obviously, Stephenville. I always want to say Stevensville. It does almost, Abilene's in the slight risk. So we'll try to mention a couple more towns and cities as we look at the radar. But check this out, a slight risk all the way back from Shreveport, all the way to Abilene, almost all the way to Alston, all the way just into southern Oklahoma. But check this out. I wouldn't say it's super uncommon, but, you typically don't see this much severe weather in Florida. I know a lot of people are saying, no, Mitch, you're totally wrong about this. But normally you can almost get a marginal risk of severe weather any day in the southeast in Florida in the summertime. But once you start to get in a slight enhanced risk, normally you start to see that off kind of the right quadrant of tropical systems, which, by the way, I'm not looking forward to landfalling hurricanes. That's not what I'm saying, but I am looking forward to just discussing the tropics. That's definitely my second favorite thing to talk about weather-wise is just checking out just an awesome hurricane right over the ocean, not really bothering anybody, and just watching it spin away. But anyways, not going to get off into that. But, you don't often see big-time severe weather risk, big-time severe weather days like tornado outbreaks or anything like that in Florida. But there is a slight risk of severe weather tomorrow, and I would say this is mainly driven off. I'm sure there will be just a very small tornado threat, even though it doesn't show it here. But the wind threat, 15% risk, winds pushing 50 knots or higher, and then a hail threat, 15% risk. And there will be another big day of hailstorms tomorrow in Florida, I think. A little bit closer look at this enhanced risk for folks who, are having a hard time seeing the more broader look. But this is the enhanced risk right over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, points south, points west, points east, all the way back to Tyler, Texas, down to College Station, Waco, Temple, all these communities, Fairfield, Clifton, Hamilton. Was that Hico? You guys let me know in Texas how you pronounce that I. But so definitely going to be an active day tomorrow in Texas. You got the tornado risk, the 5% risk right over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Okay, you got the hail risk, which there's going to be a hatch risk for hail. 15% risk of hail pushing 1 inch of diameter or larger, but the black outlined area you see here with the slashes going through it, that is a hatch risk, which means it's a 10% risk of hail 2 inch or diameter or larger. I can tell you there's going to be some very large hail tomorrow. It really is. Damaging winds, as of right now, you just got a 30% risk of damaging winds. A 30% risk of winds pushing about 55 to 60 miles per hour or faster or stronger in this region. Are we going to have a hatch risk? Not sure. It just depends on how the wind profiles look aloft. But we look at how these storms can unfold tomorrow. We'll start off tomorrow morning. Like I said, stormy conditions along the Red River. And then we watch to see how the atmosphere behaves right in here in the heart of Texas. So let me go on and get my map ready here. Watch out around Stephenville. Okay, Stephenville. That area, as we're getting into, we're about 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., bang. Here comes some powerful storms right here developing. I mean, they really get going here. And I would say this is south of Wichita Falls near Jacksboro, Mineral Wells, Graham, Breckenridge. Watch out for these storms right into here. They quickly become very powerful. And the longer they stay supercell in nature, meaning they're discrete and they're not really attached to any other cells, the longer you have a very large hail threat, I'm talking about hail the size of baseballs, the longer you have a tornado threat, and the more of a big-time risk this is going to pose. But we're getting to 4, 5 p.m. I really want to watch these storms. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is right into here. These storms are just west of the city, so they're starting to knock on the door of the Mineral Wells area, the Weatherford, places like that. And you got some storms firing up here in the kind of energized area right in here in far northeast Texas. Sherman, not Sherman, but Paris, Texarkana. These guys, you guys could have some stormy conditions in northeast Texas as we're getting later in the afternoon, closer to the evening hours. But these are the storms I really want to watch. You know, we don't want a billion-dollar disaster with a hailstorm moving right through the Dallas-Fort Worth area just after rush hour. But I really think we're going to have some powerful storms in this region. You know, this is Fort Worth, Dallas right here, some nasty storms just west of the town producing large hail and very strong winds potentially. This keeps going. I don't know if a huge hailstorm is going to go right over the Dallas-Fort Worth area or not. You know, it's hard to know, but I can tell you there's some pretty powerful storms moving into southwest Arkansas and northwest Louisiana, starting to knock on the doorstep of Shreveport, Louisiana as we get into around 9 p.m. But these storms are still rolling. Dallas-Fort Worth area, right into this region, right into here. And I can always tell where it is because of this little small baby county right here. But just south of the city, I would say 9 p.m. And then, guys, this isn't an exact science. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But, you know, I'm not going to try to pronounce that C that starts with a W. What is that? Waxahachie, something like that. You guys let me know. I'm kind of doing this on the fly here. Claiborne, you guys could have a big-time severe weather threat down to Hillsboro. These storms could be quite powerful, and they're moving pretty slow. They're going to be kind of drifters, and that tells me that there's probably not going to be a massive damaging wind threat tomorrow or a massive tornado threat. Just with this light wind speeds aloft, these storms are just kind of drifting. Could even turn into a flooding threat tomorrow. But at this point, we'll go all the way out to about midnight tomorrow night. These storms are well south of Dallas-Fort Worth region. Waco, Temple, Killeen, College Station, Palestine, Buffalo, Fairfield. I'm not going to try that one. Hubbard. You know, guys, I'm not the best speller outer, if you will. But these storms will be quite powerful into kind of east central Texas, and they'll kind of drift very slowly, a little bit deeper into Texas into the overnight hours, the wee hours of the morning, and they'll still be packing a punch, and these storms can really start firing up in the hill country of Texas down here well after midnight into the wee hours of the morning, and then they will drift into Louisiana as we're waking up for Thursday morning. I'll give you another update on that, and we'll see what kind of fires up here Thursday morning. But these storms, guys, are going to be powerful. Okay, I just letting you know, and you can already tell the atmosphere will really build tomorrow ahead of these storms, where dew points will rise potentially all the way into the upper 60s. It'll feel very humid out there before these storms start to eat away these Cape levels, but dew points will rise substantially. You'll have a pool of dew points into the low 70s deep down in Texas, southeast Texas, and there'll be a boundary up here. And that's one thing I haven't mentioned is, yeah, you don't have a super favorable wind profile aloft for a tornado threat, but you do have boundaries out here, a lot of boundaries, a warm front out here, and sometimes these updrafts can attach to these boundaries, and it actually helps to spin these storms. And that's why you're still probably going to get a couple tornado warnings tomorrow, but definitely a rich moisture field down into here. And in response to such a rich moisture field, you're going to have some pretty high Cape levels. And with that, with cold air aloft, because you have cold air nearby with a trailing cold front, you're probably going to get some big time hail producers. And I mean, the hail, the Cape builds upwards to 3,000 joules per kilogram. ML Cape, mixed layer Cape here. So you're going to have some explosive fuel for some powerful storms all the way up into North Texas tomorrow. And then the storms get going and yum, they eat up all this Cape in the atmosphere. And like we talked about, it stabilizes the atmosphere, rain, cooled air, and the rest is history. But powerful storms in Texas tomorrow. I hope that helps. We'll give you another update tomorrow on this and try to figure it out for you guys. But you know, it really wants to it really likes the idea of a lot of these storms spinning. But remember, just because these updrafts are spinning doesn't mean everywhere where you see reds and pinks that there's going to be a wedge tornado on the ground destroying towns. That's not what it means. It does mean that these storms will try to be spinning out here, but that doesn't mean they're going to latch, which means tornado on the ground. So we'll certainly watch this for sure. Texas, here we go. You know, guys, I like to call Florida Texas. You know, they're two totally different states. Look, totally different sizes, but two totally different geographical features. But here we go. Florida is Texas. Texas is Florida. You get what I'm saying? We're looking at Florida as we're getting into tomorrow afternoon around 2 p.m. I can tell you we might get some storm action in southern South Carolina. We'll talk about that. It would be nice if I can get, I know I say it in almost every video, but man, the Carolinas and Georgia have not gotten anything interesting weather-wise. And I know a lot of people are saying, good, Mitch, we want a nice spring, nothing too crazy. I don't want anything crazy. I would just like a storm to check out. Maybe a rumble of thunder, sit on my front porch and just listen to the rainfall, low rumbles of thunder. I'm into that kind of stuff. I think anybody can appreciate a good late spring, summer thunderstorm in the South when those frogs get to burping out there and things like that. But we'll get into tomorrow afternoon, 4 or 5 p.m. Big time storms get going. Lapse rates and cold air several thousand feet up in the atmosphere will support, which is that cold air aloft, will support hail with these storms. So you're going to have a lot of hail falling with some of these severe thunderstorms, strong storms tomorrow that will fire up basically anywhere from Gainesville, again, points south. And you will have some thunderstorm activity, I think, possible in southern Alabama, the panhandle of Florida. But I think basically the entire peninsula of Florida will be under the gun for some nasty, severe weather tomorrow again. So just be aware of that. We'll go up to South Carolina. I do want to show, my folks up here. And, you guys could certainly get some strong storms tomorrow. And what's really baffling to me is if you look at the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow, there's not even a general risk of thunderstorms in the southern South Carolina. I'm going to tell you right now that's going to change. You'll probably get a general risk and a marginal risk that's bumped up into the low country of South Carolina tomorrow based off what I'm seeing here. But you look at the radar for tomorrow, we're getting into tomorrow, a little bit of waking up to some rain, maybe even some rumbles of thunder around the Augusta area, right? Some rain in the upstate of South Carolina all the way through early afternoon. This will probably diminish, but watch out. Could get some storm development. That'd be awesome. I would love to just drive about an hour south, maybe see some storm activity through around 4 or 5 p.m. You got some storms south of Columbia. So, not many people are talking about this much, but I do think we could get some thunderstorms tomorrow in southern South Carolina. So we'll certainly watch for this, and then they'll kind of dwindle away. But moving past the severe weather, the next thing we talk about is Thursday. We're not going to get very detailed on that, but I do think we'll have some severe thunderstorms that will be ongoing in the deep south for Thursday afternoon with some instability that builds, but not really any tornado threat because there's just no shear, there's no spin to the atmosphere, not a lot of wind movement above our heads. But big time rainmaker moves in regardless Thursday afternoon across the deep south, mid-south, all the way up into the Midwest, really the Ohio Valley. This moves through, brings a rainy day for the Ohio Valley, the mid-Atlantic areas of the southeast, and then pretty much a rainy day probably Saturday for a lot of the Northeast, and then a powerful 2 pieces of energy try to phase here. And I really think as we get into Sunday morning, you will have a developing low pressure that will move on shore. And this will deliver some very heavy rain potential for the Southeast. It could be a washout Sunday for the Southeast. Alabama, Georgia, it's not going to be a good weekend. I think for the Southeast, Saturday might be your day to kind of squeeze in. I know we have our last soccer game Saturday, and I think I'll have a brief window to get it in. But this will move up the coast, and I don't see much of a severe weather threat anymore, just with the placement of the low pressure and the timing of it. But I mean, you're going to have some gusty winds. You're going to have some heavy rain with this system along the eastern U.S. for sure. So some cold air follows behind it too to start off your May. But, rainfall between now and May 1st, a few inches of rain's possible, guys, in Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, up to Virginia, the Delmarva, anywhere from 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain's possible. So I know here in my neck of the woods in Columbia, we have not gotten a lot of rain at all. Even though it seems like it's rained every weekend for the last 45 Saturdays and weekends, we haven't gotten much rain from the systems. So that's all I got, guys. Hopefully that helps. God bless all y'all. Have a great night, and stay safe out there, and I'll be with y'all this morning. And I'll be with y'all tomorrow morning. God bless.